Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age conversations, talk, and other things. My channel, that's what we do here. We just talk about cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats. I'm talking so much about that. RVs, not so much, but anyways, we talk about the automotive industry, but we also talk about things in general. So it's Tuesday morning. Look at the driveway. It's full to the brim again. Kind of cool down here, which it's actually not bad. I don't mind it because it's kind of nice to have the cool weather here in Florida because the humidity is big. The humidity just gets old down here. If anybody that lives in Florida, you know exactly what I'm talking about with the humidity. You know, what's the deal with the constant humidity in Florida? What's the deal? Why is that? Why is this area there's so much humidity? Yeah, I mean, when the ocean's just literally by the bird, I think it'd be 5 miles from here if that. So the ocean weather. Can I even get through here with all my vehicles packing in my dad's garage? Yeah, look at this. What's the deal with this? What's the deal with you having 5? Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motorcycles. What's the deal with that? I mean, come on. Would I ever imagine when I came out of Florida that I would buy 3 motorcycles within 30 days? I mean, that was never planned. So what's the deal with that, right? You're hearing the word now, deal. I don't even know if I've made a video about the deal. And here we go. If you're watching my channel, you saw that yesterday I spent a good portion of the day getting this motorcycle back home. And, oh my goodness. And yeah, and why? Well, it's because it's all about the deal. Yeah. That's usually the ball game with me. It's all about the deal. When I go out and buy things, I mean, not much different from anybody else. That you see a deal and kind of get fixated on that, and you kind of think maybe is that the right choice or wrong choice? Is the Indian Chief? Well, it's actually the Indian Super Chief Limited with the I guess it's the. Is it the stone metallic blue? I don't know. I can't even. There's slate metallic blue. I guess that's the name of it. And I mean, here's the thing. Here, this bike here, this is the same bike. I mean, this is the same motorcycle. If I wanted to put a different seat on it and a rear passenger seat and bags on it and a front windshield on it, you know, for the most part, it's the same motorcycle. And I'm sure some people would be like, well, what the heck is that all about? Yeah, I know. What the heck is that all about? I don't disagree. Well, this has the bigger motor, which, wow. That's pretty impressive. And if you watched my video yesterday, if you want to watch it, you'll see the ride to the dealership of, what is it? You know, Sky Motorsports, I think. I can't even keep track of all these dealerships down here because I don't live down here. And I've bought now, well, I bought from now, 2 dealerships, right? The Morimoto, is that right? And the Sky. I can't. That's pretty bad. But here's the deal. Yesterday, it's really interesting that I was kind of debating: do I really try to pull this deal off? And then what's interesting is my daughter. She really was like, I'm just not, excited to go because she knew it would be all day in either the Bronco or the truck to go get that motorcycle. And I mean, literally, she was just like, it's just not a big deal. I just don't really want to. I just want to sit in the vehicle for, which it is. It's a long day. I mean, it's basically 5 hours of driving time, and I get it. But then all of a sudden, hey, here's an idea. Why don't you drive the race truck and the trailer, and we'll go over and check out the bike. What do you think of that? And all of a sudden, she's like, wow, yeah. Because for me, I had no desire to drive a truck and trailer yesterday. I'd rather drive a Bronco. So anyways, so that got her excited about that deal to go look at the bike. And sincerely, if I've been by myself, I don't know. I would have kind of been like, boy, you should come along because I just don't know if I really want to buy this because I don't think it's going to be about me. It's more going to be about you. So she's already on the page and wanting to ride this today. And yeah, I really want to put some crash bars on it. But what's interesting is the gentleman yesterday was saying chrome crash bars. I don't know why he had that gentleman look up chrome crash bars when the black crash bars, I think, would look just as fine in this as well. I don't know. I mean, look at the black forks, blacked out, blacked out, blacked out. Why wouldn't black crash bars be appropriate? But it's just too much of my mind yesterday to think about that. But anyway, so I thought, well, you know what? What's the deal, right? It's all about the deal. What's the deal with my dad and kid? Where are they, right? I gotta get going here, and yeah, it was a long day yesterday to pull that deal off. Wow, Jesus Christ. And for me, I'm running out of time. Yeah. The normal thing, I need an Indian cup here. I've got Indian motorcycles, I don't have any Indian gear. Call my Harley gear, and no Indian gear, so get set down here to get the day going and have our Tuesday morning conversation. And what do we talk about today, right? Yeah, I hear you. What are you talking about today besides the deal, the art of the deal? Isn't that where Trump kind of got to be known? He wrote that book back in the 80s. I never even read it. I wasn't even a Trump fan back in the 80s. I mean, so it's interesting how we all get, I've had so many people, you're just a Trump guy. It's like, oh my gosh. You know, for the record, I like his idea of kind of putting America first. I like some of his policies, but I was never a Trump fan. I just never was, never have been. So, anyways, yeah, the art of the deal, written by Donald Trump and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, the deal, right? So, what's the deal? So, I think to myself, well, it's always about the deal when people buy cars, right? We've got to keep the theme of the conversations on the car channel for the most part. And we can talk about other things too, but I just think, isn't it so much about the deal? Isn't that what drives people to buy things? And that's why the automotive industry has just been so, how many years have they ridden off of the deals where you literally have to negotiate deals, and how the car industry's tried to tame that down and make it more transparent that this is what you're going to do. I mean, do they really do that? I mean, I just still think that it's misleading because you see a price on the internet, but when you go to the car dealership, oh, by the way, that price you see doesn't include the shipping and freight, doesn't include our $9.99, dealer fee, doesn't include blah, blah, blah. I mean, so it still isn't, transparent as it should be, even though they have in very small print, that what I just said to you. But they don't reflect that in the price of vehicles. So when you think you're going to see a vehicle for, I guess now the average price of a car is like $46,000. So if you go to the dealership to buy a $46,999 car, it's going to be $50,000. Basically, by the time they add everything in, it's going to be $49,999. Yeah, right. And it's no different with motorcycles and other companies to make their monies, because their claim is the manufacturer squeezes them so tight that there's not a lot of markup in the product they're selling as new, and it's so competitive. But I think to myself, boy, I tell you, the deals, for the automotive dealers here, the pandemic time frame, they've had their day as far as just really being able to control the deals. But that's all changing. Apparently, if you drive around, the Ford, I always talk about Ford, and I don't see it so much in a lot of other manufacturers, but Ford definitely seems to be a lot healthier in their dealer inventory than other manufacturers. I could be wrong about that, but what's the deal, right? And I think I hear the deal coming in right now with the kid and the dad and all that stuff. They get their routine. What's their deal? They get up every day, and my dad drives to Starbucks, get a cup of coffee, and some other things in general. But I mean, that's his deal. I mean, I'm not lying. Every day he gets out of bed and he drives up the road to get a coffee. Yeah, right. We all have our challenges. I know my challenges. What's my challenge? I can't go more than 10 days without having to go buy something, right? I mean, I told you that you wrapped up the end of the year. I mean, I've now been here 30 days, I think 90, 30 days, and I've bought 3 vehicles, Well, that's 10. That's 10. It's actually, I did back-to-back purchases before Christmas, or right before Christmas, or right after Christmas. But the whole point is, if you go 30-day increments, yeah, I just did the 10-day thing. In 10 days, I got to go out and buy another damn vehicle. Yeah. When does it stop, right? What's the deal with this guy? And if you watch my channel, I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, this guy, the deal. Yeah, don't get too personal, right? Oh, I hear it. Yeah, if you're a married man, you even hear it more. Yikes, right? So, yeah, so the deal. So I think right now, are we transitioning back to the power of the deal to the consumer? Is the trend coming back to the consumers? I mean, the trend since the pandemic and really up to recently, the deal has been in the hands of the manufacturer and the automotive dealerships infrastructure. So is that deal going to change? And I was reading also about how the Inflation Reduction Act has all this criteria that if you're going to buy an EV vehicle, then there's only so many EV vehicles you qualify to get a full tax credit. So probably right now, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, I think. Yeah, I could be wrong on a few of them, but I'm pretty sure Nissan, Mazda. Well, no, Mazda, Toyota, Subaru. There's like 4 or 5 manufacturers, Hyundai, that aren't meeting the criteria to get a full tax credit because the new Inflation Reduction Act requires that a vehicle has X amount of components made domestically here or put together here, whatever you want to phrase it, in order for you to get the full tax credit. So these other manufacturers are wanting to be part of that, and they're having to write into the IRS what their criteria and what they're going to do to meet those guidelines, but they haven't actually seen what they're going to do, because it's 2023 is a whole different ballgame. If you go buy an electric vehicle, don't assume that you're going to get a full tax credit. You only may get a percentage. Right, so what's the deal with that? And then the deal also is the government, more than ever, is pushing for EV transition, that they're really, they're giving the post office, I think, huge incentives to get electric vehicles. They're just trying to, every which way they can, force people to change to EV vehicles. That's their deal. The governing body of our country, the deal is they want you to get rid of your ICE vehicle as fast as possible and buy an electric vehicle. That's factual. And so to me, I think it's ridiculous, because we all know that the EV vehicle is not going to save the world. But for some reason, the governing bodies and as we know, the money mongers all want EV vehicles. It's all about a money grab. In my opinion, it's a money grab. It's just a transfer of wealth. That's all that's going on. And in the end, does it seem? I don't know. I think, like anything, it takes years. It takes years and years for things to come to light of what it really works and doesn't. Right? I mean, what's the deal? I mean, what's the deal on the manufacturers that make these vehicles, and you go buy a vehicle, and then you come to understand, like I did, buying my first electric Mustang Mach-E, my first F-150 truck, you start to understand the reality of the deal of the vehicle, that it isn't really as easy and simple as you think it is, and there's a lot more obstacles to owning that EV vehicle than you initially understand until you own it. And that's why I wanted to own the electric vehicles, because I wanted to understand more about what they are and what they do, and the reality, in which I learned very quickly that there's a lot of, there's the pluses and minuses, but here's the deal. The gentleman that works for me, numerous times he has forgotten to charge the truck when he's gone back home. And so we don't have a supercharger thing, because the second F-150 truck I bought, the gentleman didn't give up the supercharger. He sold it on his own. He was supposed to give it to me as part of that black F-150 truck. And when I traded my F-150 truck back in and got paid $20K to give it back, I gave that supercharger. I was a nice guy and gave it. The second guy, he got paid to give up his F-150 truck, practically brand new, that I bought, that black one. His deal was, he told the dealership he would give that supercharger up and drop it off the dealership. He never did. He sold it out in the market. So his deal was, he changed his mind. It's my deal. It's mine. I don't have to give that up. That was never in writing for the deal of that truck. So the point is, I don't have a supercharger, and those things are like, I don't know. I guess you can buy it for $2,000. I don't even know, $3,500. But I kind of held out because I thought I was going to get another deal on the F-150 Lightning stone metallic gray that I ordered, but the deal didn't go down because of the credit company just saying we're just tired of giving you vehicles and we don't want the exposure. The deal is for them is they don't want the exposure. They're just done on dealing with me at this time until I reduce the exposure to them. Well, they talk about doing another deal. Yeah, it's a whole other thing that we all understand. How many people haven't gone down to the car dealership? Oh yeah, just going to sum that up. The gentleman works for me. Numerous times he's forgotten to charge the vehicle, so then he's stuck, and he has to delay coming to work by 4, 5, 6 hours. And yeah, he could get in the truck and go up the road and pay at a set gas station, a supercharging thing, but you're going to sit there for 45 minutes to an hour, and that's going to be a $30, $40 bill in that big truck. To pump 100 kilowatts of power back into it, 43 cents a kilowatt. $43. I don't even know what the kilowatt thing is. I haven't done it in a while. And that's the whole thing. What's the deal with the EV vehicles? And you go to it, so many people think that you buy an EV vehicle and it's free. It's free to recharge it. Boy, I haven't even had my coffee, anything. We'll recognize lawn there. We'll recognize the Bronco. What's going on here? There's the stock market. What's the deal with the stock market? It's stuck at the 30s, 33, 32, 33, 32, 33. Isn't that right? I mean, isn't the stock market just kind of in limbo and then what's the deal with all the layoffs? Is anybody reading about all the layoffs? And they're saying the deal this time, it's the white collar guys are getting hit, not the blue collar guys. Has anybody been following that? What's the deal on that? I mean, think about the deal with Twitter. How many people got laid off from there? The deal with Meta. How many people getting laid off from there? The deal with Salesforce. How many people getting laid off there? I mean, there's just a list of a lot of tech companies. What's the deal about that? All the tech companies. Yeah, get this. If you're a Disney employee, and it's ironic, I drove right by the Disney World yesterday, and Iger, the CEO that's had to come back after he left to get Disney back in order, he's mandated that if you work for Disney by March, you have to be back in the office 4 days a week. And they're saying that's one of the strictest, corporations, big organizations that is enforced 4-day work week versus most are doing 3-day work week. What's the deal with that, right? So if you're an employee of Disney, you're thinking, what's the deal with this? Why do I have to be in the office on 4 days a week? But his Iger, however he's pronounced his name, Iger, I think he's the CEO of Disney. His position is the camaraderie of people being together in the office creates more, more productivity, more creativity. I can kind of get that. I mean, you're kind of in the office environment. It has the plus and minuses. Yeah, so what's the deal with that, right? If you're an employee. I mean, there's a bunch of another company just point blank told everybody you got to come back to work, and if you're not willing to do it and you want to resign, that's fine. No problem. Just go ahead and resign. Yeah, what's the deal with the office buildings? How are these office buildings surviving with the deal of many companies don't send their employees to work anymore? Yeah, do you hear much about that? I mean, I was around Orlando area. That area is just a hopping area. Man almighty. That area is just happening. You can just feel it. I mean, it's just everything. That's a thriving economy, thriving area. It's all the Disney draws a lot of the business down there, so we kind of all understand that. And Walt Disney was smart to put it there in that part of the country because you've got year-round capability of entertaining people because of the weather for the most part. Oh my goodness! So the deal on the cars, dude. So that's what the whole deal was yesterday for me. Was the deal, but I mean, I called that dealership and they want X amount of dollars, and I kind of went low on the number. I knew they wouldn't meet that number, but then we went back and forth, and I was just like, do I just put the deal to bed and move on and get it out of my head? And that's the challenge with me. I get fixated on something I want, to do or whatever it is, and then until the deal gets done, I just don't give up. That's the danger of who I am, the good and the bad, right? Yeah, so the kid had a lot of fun. If you watch the video, the kid's excited, and for me, she's got a different new ride. So how does that all play out as far as she's been riding the Harley Street Bob? But it is incredible. Even on Harley Street Bob, it's like 650, 670 weight, and that Chief is like 700. It's a good 50-pound difference in that motorcycle. And especially since you have the bags on it, and you have the front windshield on it. So just those, items there add weight to the motorcycle, and it has a little bigger engine. But at the end of the day, it has a little bigger front tire. But at the end of the day, the bike just is so much more nimble. It feels lighter. And I know anybody watching my YouTube channel that doesn't ride motorcycles, they'd probably be like, boy, that's just kind of hard to believe. It is incredible how the Indian design of the motorcycle is just such a different ride. And that's why I like to have different things, is because I get to experience the different rides. And that's what I've always been about my life, is that in my lifetime, I want to be able to own and drive as many different vehicles that I can in my lifetime. I just really want to be able to drive different things, own different things, just to be able to compare. And that's just who I am, which I have. I've owned a lot of different vehicles because I get to drive them, and it's interesting. I'll read the articles of journalists that talk about what they experienced with the car, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what I said. Just like the Toyota Supra. If you saw my videos of me getting my Toyota Supra and me owning the Toyota Supra, the 2020 red one I had, that car was a lot of fun. But the back end was squirrely. It was light. That back end wanted to come out from behind you. And they just did a review of the Toyota Supra against the new Nissan 400Z, and the Toyota Supra just smokes it. Oh, it's unbelievable. The Toyota Supra just smokes the Nissan. The Nissan's pitiful. Zero to 100. Basically, the Toyota's doing like 114 miles an hour. I think the Nissan's doing like the quarter mile. I think the Nissan's barely breaking 100 miles an hour. So, but in overall though, the Supra just, for the most part, eats up the Nissan 400Z. I'm kind of disappointed because I came from the 280Z, where my dad owned a 1976 280Z, and that was one of my first cars. I learned how to drive a stick shift and used to drive it around, and so I've always been a Z fan. Haven't been a fan of all the different changes they've made over the years, how they look, but at the same time, the new one looks pretty cool, but the review on it so far isn't that great. It's kind of the looks good. I think it looks really good, but as far as performance goes, the ride goes, it just isn't. It's nothing great. It's going to be a car that you buy. It's $5,000 less than the Supra. So, but for $5,000, when you're at $50,000 versus $55,000, I mean, really? You have to say to yourself, what's the deal on that? You're at $50,000. Oh, here's the thing. They just released a report that the deal people are dealing with in financing cars, for the first time ever, it's over 15% of the car loans are over $1,000 a month payment. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm surprised it's that low. It went from 10% here to now it's at 15%. It's a 50% increase of people signing loans of over $1,000 a month. I'm thinking, if you just run the numbers, if the average car is $46,000, no taxes, you're at $50,000. You're at $50,000. You got to put down $10,000 to even be at like a $650, $700 car payment. So, but the thing is, how many cars out there do you see rolling down the road that are $60,000, $70,000, $80,000? You go buy an $80,000 vehicle, and you finance a vehicle, put $10,000 down, and you buy the taxes and the blah 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 blah. You're going to be financing $70,000 because of all the taxes and all the, extended warranty, gap insurance. Better get gap insurance because your car is going to, you crash it and you paid $80,000 for it, and you're financing $75,000 because you pay $80,000 and you put $10,000 down. By the time they add everything back in on your extended warranty, your service contract, your wheel and tire package, your Gap's through the roof. Gap's now like $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. Yeah. Yeah. So your $10,000 you put down, it's nothing. So you're basically financing like $80,000. Yeah, what's 80 times $20, 1,000 borrowed? That's $160. That's $16 a month. Okay, let's do $16.76 $1,000 on zero interest on like a 6-year note. You're still going to be at like a $900 to $1,000 payment. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're going to be like $1,200. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, really? I'm amazed it's that low for all the price of cars anymore. And they're saying another thing that's going on is people's values on their trade-ins have depreciated substantially here recently. So when you go trade your car in, you think you have your $5-10 equity, you have no equity. Yeah, that's going back to the good old days where you're now rolling negative equity into cars, where the cars have a loan value, a LV value. So when you go to the car dealership and the car is 60 grand and you're 20 grand upside down your car, they can do about a loan value of 130 to 140% of the 60 grand, which means they can probably get the loan bought at 80 grand, so you can bury all your negative equity in your car. Yeah, see, ask me how I know these equations. Ask me how I should have been in the car industry. Should have been a finance guy, whatever. But you got to live at these places. I just don't. I just ain't doing it, man. I figured out years ago I can make a good living not having to live in one place all day long. I figured that out very young of reading books, Harvard business books. I read Harvard business books, believe it or not. I'm not the smartest of the bunch, but I kind of figured things out very young of what works and doesn't. And people that have to live at these dealerships, yeah, if you're a good finance guy, there's no doubt you can pull 150, 200 grand plus a year. But you live at the place. You're going to live there 6 days a week. I know these people. And not making fun of them, not making light of the situation. But it's incredible dedication that you have to live there. And if that's your lifestyle, great. I want to have more freedom and capability. Not everybody has that. I get that. But the whole point is, yeah, I could have been on the automotive side. I could have done it many, many times. But I'm like, yeah, but when you work 60 hours a week and you're making $150,000, $200,000 a year, maybe more, what are you really making? Because it turns into, some of these dealerships turns into 7-day-a-week pulls sometimes, where you're putting in, conservative 70 hours in a week. Yeah, I'm not making this stuff up. I know people that are putting, 12-hour days at dealerships, 10-hour days. Yeah, just run the numbers and then run how much money you're making and divide that. Yeah, you're not making the money you think you are. Even car salespeople will tell you that live in a car dealership 7 days a week. Yeah, they'll tell you straight up, yeah, I make pretty good money, but I don't have a life. Right. What's the deal with that, right? I've always have said for years, they need to change the way the dealerships operate. They just need to change. But nah, it's not going to happen. Just not anytime soon. They're trying to go to internet buying. It's no different. You're on the internet, you price a vehicle, but then once you go there, it's like yesterday, I knew when I got there, all of a sudden, I bought the bike outright. I just bought it. Gave him a check. It's my bike. It's over. Give me the title. Blah, blah, blah. And which it takes 45 days for them to get to clean the title from a transfer from the other owner to them, to me, blah, blah, whatever. But meanwhile, hey, let's go to the finance department. I'm like, why am I going to the finance department? We're done. I'm not buying anything. We're done. No. You got to, I'm like, I'm not buying anything else. I'm not doing no more. We're done. And so sure enough, protocol of the dealership, have to go to the finance office and look at the lady as she starts running around. Do you want the maintenance program? Do you want the $5.99 battery program? $5.99 for battery? Yeah, right. Do you want the warranty? The warranty expires on the bike in March. Do you want the maintenance? Do you want, they couldn't pitch the gap on me. Do you want the wheel and tires? So if you buy all that stuff, all right, just write another $3,000 check at least, if not more, to add all that stuff back into the deal. Yeah, I'm like, no, we're done. The whole point is you can do a transaction on the internet. Good luck. It's not that easy. But yeah, I know. Carvana, right, I get it. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know if I told you or not, but a Carvana tag finally populated my Challenger Gold Rush up north. So it does have a tag. So the Carvana deal finally played out. So that's a good deal, right? Oh my goodness! I hear the garage door. I'll get some more coffee, man, and we're running out of time here. Is the coffee cooling down? What's the deal with Ford not sending me a Raptor picture? My daughter said, you gotta take a picture of your own out in the desert. Have your own picture. I think here they come. Yes, they do. Here's a little baby, and here's the other baby. Hey, baby. And awful quiet. What's going on there, huh? Yeah, what's the adventures? What's the deal with them, right? All right, so what's going on, right? So then we can talk about the deal of the governing bodies, of what they're doing. What deal did we get with these guys? What deal did we get with the governing bodies, right? I mean, sincerely. I mean, and here we're seeing that it's just Elon Musk, the Twitter thing. They just keep on digging up. What was the deal? What's all the deals? Boy, I tell you, I said it from the get-go. The media machine is ignore. I mean, really, do you really hear a lot about? I mean, is this like main topics of conversations of what Elon's digging up, of all the social platform content, the control. Are we really hearing? Do you really hear the main media focus on this and talk about it? There he is. Where's the crocodile Dundee hat? Wow.
Morning.
Wow.
I don't want to be on the damn video.
There you go. Added morning, and geez, what's the deal with that, right? Where's the happiness, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, material things and happiness. Yeah, if you haven't figured that out, you're on a long journey. Hey, I can help you figure it out real quick. At 300 plus purchases in my lifetime. Yeah, the material things aren't going to make you happy in the end. I mean, trust me, they won't. It's all about the deal. That's what my wife says all the time. It's like, you're just all about the deal. All you want to do is go get the deal. Yeah, there's a lot of facts and truth to that. That's how a lot of people operate. It's all about getting the deal. Get the deal, and then the excitement's over, and poof, all right, did that. Move on, next. Yeah, is that the gambling addictions, right? The people who go to Las Vegas? Yeah, hey, where are those videos? The people go to Las Vegas and piss away all their money. Excuse the language. They get rid of all their money. They just hand all their money away. Oh, but I heard the story. This older lady winning $1 million. You hear these stories? Yeah, but don't ever hear all the stories of all people lost all the money. Do you ever hear those people on bragging about how much money they lost? Whoever brags about how they made all their mistakes? Does anybody really do that? Should we talk about the governing bodies of our country, of all the mistakes they make? Do they ever get a YouTube channel going? Yeah, to share this and all the missteps they're doing, and oh my gosh, the deals, right? All right, good enough. I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. It's 30 minutes, 31 minutes. I hope everybody enjoys the conversations and gets some information out of it, some knowledge. I don't know. You just get to know who I am even more. That's exciting, or is that scary, right? This guy's teaching me not how to be like him. This guy's doing me a great favor. Right. One of my YouTube subscribers posted last night. It's like, hey, I used my money and bought my kid a house, but you're out there buying your kid toys. I'm like, well, you're wiser than me. You're spending your money wisely. I'm spending my money silly. So kudos up to it's like a thumbs up. Yeah, you're doing the right thing. So yeah, right. Pretty cool. I enjoy the comments. Thank God for me. I don't have people being nasty. For what? Once again, if you don't like my channel, don't watch it. Who cares? There are so many YouTube people out there begging you to watch them. Sincerely. If my rhetoric and my way I talk and the things I do irritates you, then okay, I get it. Let's just go somewhere else. I get it. There's no hate here that I'm promoting here on my channel. I'm just wanting to share the goofiness of who I am. Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you want to be just like me? I'm trying to help you out, all right? Do you get the message here? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching my channel. Stay tuned. What are we doing next? Who the heck knows? I don't even know. And God bless.